and a lowest downwind. Cessna over the threshold, coming up on the white dot, at or beyond the white dot, left turn first available. I got a high wind coming up on about a half-mile final, clear to land at or beyond. Traffic on the left face, you're following a Cessna down, low off your left. Square it up just a little bit, and then we're going to get you in. Start your descent, though. Start your descent on the base. Traffic on final, give me follow on base. Base traffic, start turning toward the numbers now. High wing coming up on quarter-mile final, take it all the way down to the green. Cessna taxiing on the green, expedite down to the next hard surface. Get me some speed, there you go, 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 go fast. This is going to be good. I got traffic on a mile final. You're following traffic ahead and to your right. High wing coming up on the threshold. Take it all the way down to the green dot.
5 Charlie Sierra, 2 mile final.
A mile final, turn north, and we're going to just make you, we're going to bring you back around. Jet traffic's coming up on about a mile and a half final. Runway 9 clear to land.
Okay, all right, let's listen up, guys. If you're on final for runway 9, I want you to offset to the left. I got a jet that's landing on runway 9. The jet's cleared to land runway 9 if you can make it. If not, just continue straight ahead. It looks like you're going around for the jet. That's fine, that's fine, that's fine.
Oh, we had one right in front of us, sir.
Dragger. Let's see, what we got, a tricycle, put it down, tricycle, put it down, tricycle, put it down. Tail dragger, down to the green dot, then a left turn. Short final here, you cleared land on 9 all the way to the white dot, go down to the white dot. Find somebody to follow out here. Canard, just come to the runway and I might have to just send you around. That'll be fine. And for the jet, you just want to stay in this pattern or you want to go back out for an instrument approach?
Stay in a pattern, Charlie Sierra.
All right, just stay with me here for a minute. And my tail dragger, and let's see, over the numbers, go down to the green. And Canard's going to have to go around. Canard, go around. Canard, go around. Canard, go around. And my high wing here over the runway, keep it airborne. Keep it airborne. You do not descend. Do not descend. You got a fast guy behind you. Do not descend. There you go. Keep it airborne. Keep it airborne. As soon as the guy behind you gets slowed down, I'm going to put you down. So keep it airborne. The one that just passed the white dot, make a left turn on the hard surface. All right, my high wing tail dragger, you can put it down now. You can put it down now. And Charlie Sierra, let me get you about a mile off. Let's see, Charlie Sierra, I lost. There you are. Make a left-hand turn. I'll try to resequence you here on the downwinds. We'll see how it looks. Short final, you're clear to land runway 9 on the white dot. Clear to land on the white dot. There you go. And the tricycle left on the hard surface and follow the flagman. Welcome. Thanks for being part of the show. And let's see, just find somebody to follow out follow on the final. And as you get close to the runway, if it's not going to work, we're going to send you around and then try to resequence you. Now, who else got sent around that's not back on the downwind? The Canard?
Yeah, Canard.
All right, Canard, there's a Gulfstream up there that went around too. I just lost sight of him, but you're going to make kind of a left-hand turn and stay low. I think Charlie Sierra, what's your altitude?
3,200.
Okay, that'll be fine. Just maintain VFR. I don't know what else is up there above you. Probably most everybody's down here, so just make a left-hand turn. We'll try to get you back here.
Canard's got the jet in tight.
Okay, the RV, maybe an RV-10, whatever, you're on final. Keep your speed up and go all the way down to the, aim for the green dot for me. Actually, keep your speed up. There's a guy behind you. Aim for the green dot, and I'm sure that's plenty of room for you to land on runway 9. You're clear to land on runway 9. Number 2, you're going to go down to the white dot. Follow the white dot. Actually, you know what? That's 1,500 feet. You're going to land at the white dot. The spacing looks adequate here. 2 guys on final. You're kind of tight there. Keep each other in sight, and you're going to aim for the white dot. If it's not going to work, we'll come up with a plan B. We might have to send you around. The second guy behind you out there in about a 2-mile final. Are you slow enough to be able to follow that guy in front of you? You need to go around. Well, I probably shouldn't ask that because I had about 5 guys answer me, so I should know better than that after 35 years, you would think, right? All right, so let me see. The guy who's number 1, it's number 1. What kind of airplane is he? An RV type. All right, RV type. Keep it airborne for me. Keep it airborne. And I got a fast guy behind you. The number 2 guy over the trees there. Go ahead and put it down on the numbers. Put it down on the numbers. My first guy just coming up on the numbers at the over the grass at the numbers. I want you to keep it.
T-minus 1 minute and counting.
Hello.
Four, 3, 2, 1.
Hello.
Hello. Hello. How you all doing out there? Well, welcome to Thursday night's live stream. As you can see, I'm somewhere slightly different tonight, but it's just for one night only. But before we go on, we need to say a very big thank you to SkyDemon, our sponsors, without whom this wouldn't be possible. If you've not tried it, go give it a go. Download yourself a copy, and give it a go for 30 days. And here is your live stream top tip of the week.
Hi, I'm Hannah from SkyDemon, and this is today's top tip. SkyDemon gives you the option to set in flight timers, which you might find useful for reminding you to perform repetitive tasks like changing fuel tanks. Go to Setup, Navigation Options, In-Flight Timers, and press the plus button to create a new timer. Enter the text that you want to appear on the screen. In this case, we'll set a reminder to perform a Frida check. And the interval between timers, we'll set it to appear every 10 minutes. To delete an existing timer, just swipe to the left. For more information on using SkyDemon, take a look at our user guide, which you can access from our website.
Wow.
That's really good. I didn't know that.
Every day's a school day, Johnny. Every day's a school day. Yeah. So I see from the comments that everyone's enjoying this wet, windy, snowy, cold weather that we're having at the moment, and a few people have appreciated my earrings. So thank you very much for that. Talking of weather, I think, and I've even remembered that it's time for Dr. Simon Keeling's recording. Now, I believe he recorded this in a little gale, just to be useful. So here you go.
Hi everyone, sorry that I can't be with you this evening. I'm out here on the west coast of Wales, a windy west coast of Wales. You can no doubt hear that wind noise around the microphone as well. I hope it's bearable for you. We're in an Arctic maritime air mass at the moment, and these showers, these shower clouds, these cumulus, clearly showing those showers. You can see some bigger ones here just over the Welsh mountains there. And it looks as if we are going to be in for quite a chilly weekend, but one that I think probably presents some flying for most of us. So this is how Friday shapes up. Northeasterly flow on Friday. Some showers, most of them across eastern parts of the country. Getting into the Midlands as well. Bases probably around 2,000 to 3,000 feet tops, up at about 15,000 to 20,000 feet in the showers. Much better though the further west you head, with the bases of around 3,000 feet tops at around 10 to 12,000 feet. Good visibility in between those showers as well. Now, on to, and there will be quite a breeze as well, I should say, on Friday. On to Saturday, still got that northeasterly flow, but a bit of a change. Down the western coast of the country, we've got a little area of low pressure that tumbles its way southwards, brings some cloud, it brings some outbreaks of rain with it, mostly to Wales and southwest England in the morning, but that will gradually clear away as we get into the afternoon. More northern and eastern areas seeing the best of the conditions, best of the sunshine here, with the bases of around 3,500 feet tops at about 8,000 to 10,000 feet. But early on across Wales and southwest England, base is probably around 1,500 to 2,000 feet, and the tops at about 5,000 to 8,000 feet. But as I say, improving there, lighter winds, decent visibility as well as the day goes on. And then for Sunday, bit of a change on Sunday. Ridge of high pressure is across the south of the country on Sunday. Now, that brings fair conditions to most of us. Much lighter winds, good visibility as well. But up towards the north of Scotland, you see the fronts there just off northern coast of Scotland. They are going to be bringing some cloud, they will be bringing some rain, and they'll be bringing some drizzle as well. So certainly across most of the UK, it looks as if Sunday is a much better day, but just watch for that rain in northern Scotland. Typical bases about 4,000 feet tops at about 8,000 to 9,000 feet, but much lower bases in that rain in northern Scotland. Okay, I will leave you with that for now, but don't forget that if you want to learn more about the weather and be able to plan up to 5 days in advance so you can spot those flying weather windows, you need to get yourself across to Aviation Weather School Part 1. Now, my next online course with places available is taking place on the Saturday mornings of the 14th and the 21st of May, and hopefully it'll be a little bit warmer than it is now. And you can book your place now, go to weatherschool.co.uk, and I'll build your confidence in being able to forecast the weather yourself, and know that if you take a trip through this spring or summer, you can be confident in the forecasting that you're going to actually be able to get back. So go to weatherschool.co.uk and take a look at that now. Right, I'm going to go inside for a walk, and I'll see you next week. Have a good weekend all. Bye for now.
as Richard Kennedy says, say again, all after Wales.
Yeah. Given that Simon's been to weather school and he can no doubt forecast wind up to 5 days ahead, I think it's probably time we crowdsourced him a little Lavalier mic with one of those little mini dead cats on it, so he can do it outside.
Yeah, Williams. Yeah, no. It is a requirement. Meteorologist. It
was actually dead quiet. It's a soundtrack that they can get.
Yeah.
Right, that's enough of that windy stuff. I think it must be time for news. I happen to know that news is being kicked off, as is traditional, by editor Dave. Dave,
right.
What have you got for us?
It's finally ready, almost. It is the Flyer website, new Flyer website, which will be the hub of the Flyer Club and all the content we produce. There'll be new content daily. One of the things we're saying about it. So there'll be news, events, product reviews, flight tests, flying adventures, technical features, columnists, safety analysis, video, and much more. But not every day, but there'll be new stuff every day. We'll be moving away from the traditional magazine concept, which we've been for the last nearly 30 years, isn't it? And moving away from that magazine concept towards becoming a true digital channel. We can honestly say it's been a mammoth task for many reasons. And not least because we want members to be able to flow seamlessly from articles to the forum, to download landing feeds and anywhere else on the site. So it'll have what's known as a single sign-on. You won't have to re-log into anything. There'll be 3 levels of access. Basic, which is, basic. And we don't want anybody to do that really. Reader, which is for people who just want to read the content and not have the Flyer Club membership and all the benefits. And then there'll be the Flyer Club, which is the access all areas, full fat, max cholesterol, all content, landing fees, and much more. So, when I hear you screaming, when will it be available? Well, we're going to say it Monday. And for the first 4 weeks, the whole site will be open to all and free. Yeah, we invite everyone to peruse the site, read as much as you like, let us know what you think, and if you find any howlers, such as links that don't work or whatever, don't hesitate to let us know, because there may be a few. After the 4 weeks, the 3 levels kick in, and the club membership will rise in price to, Johnny?
£52.
Yes, a year.
Yeah.
Just £1 a week.
Yes. Yeah. And we flashed up a quick screenshot of what it's looking like. It's we're very pleased with it. Even though it's been an immense amount of work, we're very pleased with it. Yeah.
Yep. Absolutely. I can't wait. I mean, we've done a whole bunch of testing this week, and we got more testing to go. But the first 4 weeks would be like a public beta, as it were, which is why we're opening it up to everybody. And during that 4 weeks, you will be able to join the club at the, instead of £52, you'll be able to join at £30. So good idea to do that, I would suggest. And if you don't already, then you should. So basically, £52 is kind of all you can eat, all you can read, all you can enjoy membership for a whole year, basically. So come along and join us. It's been bloody mammoth task, to say the least. I never quite. If I'd realised quite how much of a task before we started, I'm not sure I'd have carried on. But
I think Darren Lewington has hit the nail on the head when he said this, really.
Yeah.
Well, funny enough, there was. I mean, you might not be, anyone involved in IT might not be entirely surprised to know that Monday was not our initial go live date. Our initial go live date was sometime in the past. And at one point we had a go live date of today, but that changed. And then there was a possibility of a go live date tomorrow, but going live on a Friday and then getting it all supported properly over the weekend. Plus I'm clearly not where I should be at the moment. So we decided to go live on Monday. It won't be first thing in the morning, so I think we're probably aiming for sometime around lunchtime. So obviously we have to kind of take everything that's on the forum, all of the memberships, everything at that time, freeze them for a little while, shift them over, and open it up again. So we can't wait. It's been a big hill, and everyone's worked their socks off to get us this far. So thank you very much, everyone out there and everyone here. It's been busy, hasn't it?
Just a tad.
Should we say? But, yeah. Anyway,
we won't be asking you to fly the A model. It's what you'll get on Monday will definitely be the B model. And like Dave says, you might spot one or two things, but we're pretty hopeful that what you'll get is great content and it's really easy and fantastic to consume.
Absolutely, and it's fully responsive, so you'll be able to consume it just as beautifully on your mobile as will your tablet, as will your desktop, as will your wall projector, or whatever else you're deciding to look at it on. So anyway, so I look forward to that. I look forward to you all joining the Flyer Club. Just £30 at the moment per year for the next 4 weeks. So get signing up now. Okay, talking of money, Ed, I think you have a green story.
Yes, but this is a big sum of money, not the tiny sum of money that the Flyer website costs. In fact, it's £685 million, and that's the sum total of government funding that's being pumped into the green aerospace industry. Coupled with industry finance, more than £1 billion will support the development of zero carbon and ultra low emission aircraft. And technology. The UK Aerospace Technology Research Programme, the ATI, that's Aerospace Technology Institute, will receive £685 million from the government for 2022 to 2023 through to 2024 to 25, and that's an increase of £235 million on the previous 3 years. That's of most interest to general aviation. Zero Avia, who've been flying the hydrogen hybrid powered Malibu Mirage and are also developing this Dornier aircraft, they're going to receive 24.6 million over 2 years to scale up their hydrogen technology for use on a 19-seater aircraft. And they're also promising, well, there's a promise of a long-distance zero-emissions demonstration flight in January 2023. After that, Zero Avia, it says, will start a certification process. So exciting times for this.
Yeah.
Do you think they're going to start a prettification process for the Dornier? Because that's got to be one ugly airplane, isn't it?
It's pretty ugly, but it's practical.
Yeah.
Well, it's clearly been a help in raising 24 million. So on that basis, I'd take as ugly as you like, frankly.
Yeah. So you could go out and bought yourself a very ugly airliner and promised to power it with hydrogen and probably made more money.
I tell you what, if someone paid me 2.4 million, let alone 24 million, I'd fly a nose wheel more happily.
I don't think there's no grant available for such a thing.
In daylight, in front of all my friends. Oh, okay. So talking about money, the next story is one of mine. A bit of a shocker. It seems that we picked this up on Johnny picked this up, I think, on Twitter yesterday. We did a bit of digging around. So the Belgian government have imposed a tax, allegedly from tomorrow, although no one seems to know quite how it's going to work, of €10. So it's a departure tax. It's for all flights under 500 kilometers. It's €10 per passenger. It's mainly aimed at airlines, but tragically enough, it extends to helicopter flights and general aviation flights too. The tax being raised is going to go towards subsidising night trains. So nobody we found to speak to has any idea of how it's actually going to be done. I'm guessing it will probably be added to your landing fee somewhere for flights under 500 kilometres, €10 per passenger. So that's a new tax in Belgium that apparently starts tomorrow, even though nobody knows anything about it.
So if you go to Belgium, just smuggle your passengers in, disguise them as suitcases and stuff like that.
Don't do that. I've got a story about that later. Johnny, give us some exciting news about something fast.
Yeah, so Air Race, the Air Race World Championship 2022 is going to take place, the first race at Goodwood on the 8th to 10th of July. And this is a development of the Red Bull Air Race, which ended in 2019, which had a total of 94 races around the world. And 12 teams have signed up for this year, next year, and 2024. And Red Bull are still sponsoring one pilot, Martin Sonka, There's a bigger emphasis now, as there obviously would be, on clean technology. So they're working with Prometheus fuels, and they're going to run all the aircraft on net zero carbon aviation fuel, as they term it, from 2023, so not this season. But yeah, you can get your tickets to watch down at Goodwood, 8th to 10th of July. They're available via Ticketmaster. Just go to fly.co.uk, and we've got the story with all the links, so you can go ahead and watch it through there. And also in other Goodwood news, after the sad death of Rob Wildeboer back in, I think it was last year, Goodwood have launched a number of scholarships in his honour. He was the former flying school manager. So he joined, I think, from 18 or 16 years old as an engineering apprentice, worked his way all the way up through the flying school. And to kind of remember him, and in his honour, they're offering a number of scholarships. So one is 15 hours in a Cessna 172, one is 15 hours in a Cub, one is 5 hours towards your tailwheel conversion, and the other is PPL or LAPL training books from the great people at Poolies. So again, you can find out how to apply for that on fly.co.uk. We've got the news story, so head over there, and if you're eligible and able to, then go for it.
I still can't believe that. Rob was such a positive, such a fantastic character. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. So they're selling calendars to support the sponsorship. Now clearly it's April, and so 2022. It doesn't matter. Just go buy a calendar. I think they're 10 quid each. Buy 5 calendars and then give them away or something, or put them up on the wall. It doesn't really matter. Just buy the calendar. Yeah, no, absolutely great program out of a tragedy, I'm afraid. Okay, Ed.
Yes.
And aeroplanes being given away.
Yes, free aeroplanes, though not for you and I. For the Shuttleworth collection, BAE Systems has donated the last aircraft from its heritage collection to the Shuttleworth Trust. So that's a de Havilland DH-60 Cirrus Moth, a Blackburn V2, and an Avaranson C-19. The aircraft will be preserved and exhibited together and returned to the Sky's Old Rawdon Airfield. As part of the transfer, BAE Systems is also donating £75,000 towards the upkeep of the aircraft. The Cirrus Moth, which was once owned by Richard Shuttleworth, founder of the Shuttleworth collection, and the B2, are Shuttleworth regulars already, having been on loan to the collection for many years. But I think the Anson is a newer addition. But yeah, very nice of BAE to do that, and they will definitely find a great long-term home now at Shuttleworth.
Now, who was it? You were talking earlier about hiding passengers from Belgium, weren't you?
Yes, yeah. I probably wasn't. It was just disguising passengers to avoid the tax, not in a smuggling type of way.
Okay, so pilot Richard Stiles of No Fixed Abode was arrested very recently for smuggling offences. He smuggled 4 people into, or so he allegedly smuggled 4 people into the country. He's been arrested, but he's certainly not been found guilty yet. And today he had his first day in court, and he's been remanded in custody and is due to appear in Leicester Magistrates Court, I think, on 19th of April or something like that. Seneca 2 into Deanland. And just a reminder put out by many people involved in this, should you see anything suspicious at any airfields, then here's the number to call, 0300 123 7000, quoting Pegasus. And as I say, he was arrested along with a taxi driver, and neither of them have been found guilty yet. I don't think the taxi driver has been charged yet. So follow that one with interest. And hot on the heels of another story today that the CA put out just recently, actually. There was a pilot who's gone to prison for 12 years for falsifying hours in his logbook in order to get a job at BA Cityfire, I believe. So that was clearly not the end of his career, I'm going to guess.
Don't break the rules, kids.
Yeah, don't those biro hours in your logbook are not worth it, whichever way you look at it. Dave, your story next.
Yes, the Learjet, the last Learjet. The Learjet factory in Wichita, Kansas, has produced its last Learjet, a 75 as they call it. It was delivered to its new owners, a charter operator and aircraft management company, earlier this week. It's because Bombardier, which has owned Learjets since 1990, is concentrating on its Challenger and Global business jets because Learjet these days is a bit small. It may be small and powerful and very sexy, but it's too small for today's fat cats. Sorry. Did I say that? I just right. Keep it small inside. Sorry.
Today's oligarchs prefer something bigger.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. So it's the end of an era, isn't it? The old Learjet.
Yeah.
Okay. So in other news, Solent Aero Park. The Aero Park at Solent. Another planning application has gone in, and Peter Day has asked if anyone out there would like to support it, please go to the story on the Flyer website, have a look, and link through there to the planning documents, and you can add your support or otherwise, depending on what you think. It would be true to say that there's a whole bunch of locals who have mobilised against the idea, and this is for mixed-use hangars where there'll be both small and medium-sized enterprises linked to aviation and a place to live as well. So. And Peter's obviously hoping to crack that nut that allows hangar homes in the UK, something that we don't really have a great deal of, if at all. So go take a look. Johnny.
This is just a quick reminder. We covered this a while back, but the Aviatrix project have got 24 taster flights available up for grabs. It's almost like a tiny mini scholarship each one. If you want to apply, they are for aspiring male and female pilots over the age of 14, and just head to our website. We've got the news story there. You've got until midday on 18th of April, and then they're going to announce the winners in May. So head on over there and have a look.
Thank you.
And I think I've got the next story, haven't I?
You have.
Yeah.
Where's Mac? Where's Mac? He's in Greece still. He's meant to be flying to, I think it's Alexandria tomorrow. So we'll keep an eye out on flight radar and see how he gets on. But he's had to have I think he was either the Algerians or the Tunisians denied him entry, either him or the aeroplane. So he's had to do a bit of rerouting. So he's going down the kind of east coast of Africa. So I think we're all keenly watching to see how he gets on.
Okay. It's going to be interesting the further he gets on, because there are some countries on his route that are not known for their flexibility with regards to aviation regulation and experimental or sub-ICAO aircraft types. So I imagine that the whole plan is to build up such momentum for this world flight that they are kind of more motivated to make things happen. So I guess there could be a bunch of changes coming along there. Okay, I think it is time for our interview. I just need to do a little bit of the traditional messing around on screen here to get this done. So please forgive me for a second. I'll put you up there, Ashok, and then I go.
Yeah, hi, everyone.
There you go. Hi.
Yeah.
And Johnny, I'll move you to the top. Over to you, Johnny.
Thank you. Thanks. Well, Ashok, thanks for joining us. How are you?
Yeah, no, I'm good. Thanks. Yeah, thanks for inviting me. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. So you were in the press quite a lot recently from, well, in fact, all over the world. I saw news stories from America, Asia, Europe, covering your story. So you built an airplane during lockdown, didn't you? So can you just tell us, first of all, what did you build?
Yeah, so I've built a Sling 4 TSI. It's made by a company in South Africa, Sling Aircraft. They used to be called the Airplane Factory. So the Sling TSI is a 4-seater all-metal aircraft with a fixed undercarriage and the Rotax 915 engine.
Yeah.
And it was just before lockdown that we got into it.
Yeah. So was this kind of designed as something to do during lockdown, or did it just come around?
It just happened to happen.
Lockdown, and it all happened to work out.
Yes. Yeah. So I only got my license in 2019, in the summer of 2019. So I was just starting to do my flying, as they say, post-license learning, start of learning. So I was looking at aircraft to at least 4-seat aircrafts, and this the plan was to kind of build one because there wasn't nothing available close to me, and then ended up going to South Africa to do a test flight. And was it was quite. I mean, there wasn't a Sling TSI flying in the UK at the time, so that was the only option, and it was quite impressive, the performance, what we saw out there, and so came back and ordered the kit, and then lockdown happened. So it kind of helped, and was also there were some negative sides during lockdown, trying to do a project where you got parts coming which were delayed, and all sorts of issues because of that. But on the flip side, there was nowhere else to go, so I could spend a lot of time building. So I probably average about 15 hours a week, just purely building. But most of it is just planning for what you're going to do. The actual build probably 3 or 4 hours every week. But it's a lot of research. It was my first kind of project or aircraft build. So
yeah, that's great. So where did you build it, and did you first have to build the place that you built it?
Yes, yeah. So I mean, it all in the end, it all played out quite well, because we had a decent sized back garden. So I thought, rather than commuting to a workshop, which was again hard to find nearby, thought to try and do it in a small shed. I built a metal shed, about 5 by 3 meters long. So it was pretty crammed in there. So the plan was to try and do the empennage first, move it somewhere, then do one wing at a time, move it out, and then come the fuselage, I'll have to do something at the back, build a small extension, and build a fuselage. So that was the plan from the beginning, and it kind of worked out in the end.
That's brilliant. So overall, we'll talk about it in detail in a minute, but overall, how long did it take you? How many kind of months and how many man hours do you think?
I kind of lost track of the man hours, but I think it probably is in excess of about more than 1,500 hours, I would think. Again, as I said, I probably average about 15 hours a week, from April 2020 to about November last year. So yeah, about 18 months or so it took in total. Once the aircraft was, while it was at home, it was a lot more easier to do a lot of the work, and even on evenings, just pop in for a few hours. But once the fuselage was kind of built and we moved it to the hangar for engine installation and undercarriage fit, I couldn't fit the undercarriage in the shed. It just wouldn't come through the side of the house with the undercarriage on. So it was, but the avionics and everything went in. So it was quite heavy. It took 4 people to lift the fuselage out of the shed and get into a lorry. So quite a few people helped out at that stage.
Yeah. And talking of people helping out and man hours, I should have said people hours, because did the family help you?
Yes, yeah. In terms of family, obviously it was only my daughter, because of there was a plan that some of my colleagues would come and help out, but because of lockdown, that didn't happen. So it was my daughter who helped with unwrapping there's lots of packaging, plastic wrap on every single piece of metal, and trying to get them cleaned and get it ready. So she helped out with that, and my wife helped with moving heavier parts together and all that. So yeah, it was a kind of a family effort.
That's very good. And what kind of aspect of the build would you say was the hardest? Because some people struggle with avionics, some people struggle with physical, sort of metal work. What was challenging for you?
I would say, yeah, avionics was one of the challenges which I knew from the beginning, so I didn't bother doing it myself. I completely outsourced that to another company. There's a company in the US, Midwest Panel Builders. They do a lot of the sling panels and harnesses. So I pretty much got them to build the harness and the panel, and it was only the final installation into the aircraft, a few of the firewall forward wiring, and the final testing and sign off side of things that I had to do.
And how did the family react to your kind of initial idea of, oh, I'm going to build an airplane? Was it excitement, or was it kind of a bit of, oh no, what's he doing?
Yeah, it was. It was hard to convince my wife mainly to try and come on board, but it was. I mean, we tried to fly the Cessna that I trained in on a short trip and all that, but it wasn't that great. The aircraft was showing its age, and so kind of convinced her that we could build something quite modern, and it will be quite fun as well. The whole process of learning the build itself.
Yeah, and did you get much interest from neighbours, like peeking over the fence and trying to see what you're doing?
Not much really, because again, as I said, it was during that lockdown phase. We would just the neighbors either side, the two older ladies. I mean, they would occasionally peek through and have a look and or explain this is what is happening. Because I'll be just deburring the parts out in the garden, because the shed was once there was one structure in there. There was no space to put massive pieces of skin, aircraft skin. So all the deburring and things like cleaning of the parts were just done in the back garden. So yeah, they would be curious and ask what's going on. I said I'll promise them free rides in the aircraft. So
Brilliant. And so, are you mechanically minded? I'm guessing it sounds like you kind of took this on pretty easily and successfully.
Yeah, I did a little bit of research before I got into it. So essentially, my goal was to try and get a 4-seater, and this being just as pull rivets, just pull rivets. So one person could do the build. It didn't involve a lot of difficult process. I mean, most of the holes are match drilled, and it's basically assembly. So so that kind of gave me a bit of confidence, and there was a couple of the builders in the US had posted really good videos of the build process, so could see how it would take shape. I'm a mechanical engineer myself and mostly do project management, so I thought, okay, that I can work, put that together, my project management, what I normally do, and this. So thought it would work.
Yeah, and in terms of options, I mean, I don't know the answer to this, but you picked the 915 IS, didn't you? There we go. Were there many big decisions that you had to make in terms of? I guess avionics was one of them, but was power plant a big decision as to which you'd go for?
And not really. I mean, the power plant, the factory only recommends the 915. I mean, this TSI was basically designed around the engine. So the previous Sling 4 uses a 914. When the 915 came along, they knew they had a really good aircraft, but with this engine, they thought they could achieve something great. So they redesigned the wing and some of the key aspects of the some section of the tail, and so the engine wasn't an option, so I had to stick with the 915. The other optional extras that I had to consider was, should I go for a ballistic parachute and the external alternator, things like that. So looking at the aircraft loading, the empty weight that I wanted to achieve, to be a proper 4-seater, kind of discounted all that and try and went with a lean and mean machine kind of thing. So the lightest possible. So I ended up with 520 kilogram empty weight. So that gives a useful load of about 430.
Wow, that's really good. That's really good. So we've got pictures of it finished here.
Yeah.
What was it like the moment where it was all together at an airfield in the sunset? What was the feeling?
I guess the realization is gradual, because you're toiling away in that airfield for hours on end. And yeah, I think the first flight day was quite special, and also the first time taxiing around was quite special. Again, it felt quite interesting. I mean, it felt quite different. I mean, the nose wheel steering on the aircraft makes taxiing really easy, and a lot more that I wasn't used to, because I used to fly a 172 and then a Pipistrel. So yeah, it felt good.
Yeah. Richard Kennedy says, was it difficult getting LA inspections during the lockdowns?
Yeah, so when I started, at the time, for the first inspection took a long time, so I had to wait about 2 months. So I had everything prepped. I had spoken to the inspector over the phone, so he said he still need to see the skeleton. So I couldn't pull any rivet until he first came and see it. So it was more than a month. I had to wait for the first lockdown to lift, where people could travel for work, and that's when he could come and visit. And even the LA inspections, because it's a 4-seater, the inspector has to have a 4SA rating or rating on his list of approvals. So there wasn't anybody near me that had that rating. So I had to find an inspector and ask him to apply for that. So that took a bit of an administrative task between the LA and back to get that to happen before I could use him.
Ah, that's interesting.
I've got
Sorry,
a bit
Ian.
of a question if I can butt in for a second, Ashok. It's not uncommon for people, I believe, who build aircraft to kind of fall in love with the whole process of building, and almost the flying then becomes a secondary thing. So I read some of the press coverage, and clearly journalists in the national press never get anything wrong, obviously.
Yeah.
But it seems like you've got some fairly ambitious touring aims with the airplane.
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, the plan is just mainly to go, places. I'm not looking at really long touring. Just try and get around the whole of UK and maybe into Europe, a few places.
I think I read like La Rochelle, Barcelona. I think I might have read.
Yes, yeah. Try and. I mean, those are the places that I, entice my wife with the idea of having her own aircraft. So.
Fair enough. And so you haven't. I mean, you haven't said to her that maybe I could sell this one and then build another one.
Not yet.
But you enjoyed the building process, or did you, part of it, just think, what have I done here? I should have just bought an aeroplane.
No, the building process, I'd say, was quite good. I mean, it wasn't that difficult. Especially the airframe comes together quite quickly. But the latter stage is that, the 99% done, 90% to go. That stage it took long. It took months where you're trying to go through a checklist. The to-do list just kept on going up and up. I think about 1,000 items just at that final stage. That was painful, but yeah, in the end, it got done. So,
did you have to project manage yourself then?
Yes, yeah. I think that was one of the aspects because again, lockdown and parts shortages in South Africa being at a different time, the amount of time it'll take to get a replacement part or a spare part or something, and there were delays. So you start on one section and then you have to leave that and start another one. So it was complicated in that way, trying to manage the whole build. You still want to make some progress, but try and make that meaningful progress. So try and identify critical parts and try and just stick to that. And yeah, so project management was quite a big part of it, I would say.
So
was there any one aspect of the project that you found more challenging than anything else?
I'd say, I think, I mean, it was quite enjoyable. I would say the building process was quite enjoyable, and I had quite good help around where the final installation or the final assembly happened at Top Farm. There was James Bentley, who's quite experienced with slinging aircraft, and he was always there to ask for advice and things like that. So and it really helped in that, I was surrounded by quite a lot of people who knew these aircraft quite well. So there were tedious tasks. I mean, fitting the canopy doors, all the perspex, you don't want to, or windscreen, things like that, because you don't want to cut it too short. So it's little bit at a time. I think the windshield took me 3 days of trimming to try and get it to fit. Yeah, so those are the kind of tedious tasks. I'm not, looking forward to doing it again if I have to build. But the airframe itself was, the pull rivets makes it a lot easier to build.
Have you flown the whole family yet?
No, we were still we were at the flight test phase, and that's now completed. And you just need to put in the paperwork to get the actual permit. Plus, I need some training in the aircraft before I can actually fly it myself. So I haven't been PIC on it yet. So
we've got one question from Andrea. What's the single most important tip or suggestion you'd give to someone who wants to start building a kit?
I would say is I think you make mistakes, and you just have to think that you can always recover. I mean, there's nothing that's you can always, restart again or get a replacement and keep going. But it's better to address that now when you know you made a mistake rather than to leave it for later and have an issue or something. So I'd say, and just some people really get. I mean, even me, the first time when something happens, it can be really upsetting and worrying, things like that. Very stressful. So it's just that over time you learn that it's part of it. It's part of the learning, I would say.
Yeah.
I think I always find with home building, it's really, like you say, the first time you make a mistake, you feel awful about it, but you kind of have to step back, and that little mistake is just a tiny portion of a whole aeroplane. And home builders often talk about this whole, projects like eating an elephant. You can't do it in one go. You have to do it piece by piece. So.
Yes, yeah.
I think it's not an instant gratification thing, I imagine.
Yeah, I think early on, when you're looking at the wing section, things like that, bigger components put together, they come along quite quickly. But towards the end, there's no gratification because you're facing problem after problem towards the end. So early on, it's really fun.
Oh, brilliant! Are we going to see you maybe at the LAA rally in September with the sling?
Yeah. Hopefully, we'll be able to be there at the rally this time. Yeah.
Good. That'd be good. We'll all have to meet up. Yeah, there's loads of really good comments from people saying lots of people really impressed with the airplane, especially for a first build. So well done. Have I missed any questions in the comments?
I don't think so. I guess the only other question is, obviously you're going to fly it quite a lot, but will you build again?
Not anytime soon. I'm hoping to try and enjoy the flying first, because I've missed the last 2 years of flying because of building. So I kind of focused on the build to try and get back into flying quickly. So
yeah.
So
fantastic.
What kind of performance do you expect from the sling in terms of cruise? Is it kind of like 100 knot cruise or something?
Yeah, it will do about 125 at 75% power. And still burning only about 26 liters an hour.
Yeah.
So yeah, that'll be.
They've really got a great package for 4 seats with that engine and the kind of lifting capability and the speed. It's a real sweet spot. So.
Yeah. Wow, we look forward to seeing you at the LAA rally, if not before. All sorts of other. There'll be a whole bunch of other things throughout the summer for you to go to, and I'm sure your family would love looking around the LAA rally for days.
They're all technically builders as well, so
that's true.
Yeah, your wife. I thought it was La Rochelle, not LAA rally.
Yeah.
Where's the seagull?
That's it.
Brilliant. Well, Ashok, thanks for joining us, and hopefully we'll catch you throughout the year somewhere at some airfield.
Yeah, look forward to seeing you all. Yeah, thanks guys. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for your time.
Great stuff.
All right, time for some fantasy hangar.
Yes. Oh, it's Johnny on his own.
Oh, I'd forgotten this bit.
It's a
there you go.
Go ahead, Johnny. Yes.
What a brilliant story.
Yeah,
it's great. And home building building an aeroplane yourself is a fantastic project. If you can involve your family, especially your kids as well, even better. So, fantastic. And the sling, great aeroplane. So,
what do you think that when the kids went to school on Monday? And the teacher went, so what did everyone do at the weekend? And they went, I don't know, I went to a birthday party, I went to soft play, I was deburring.
Yeah,
and then, the next week,
I
was deburring some more.
Yeah, I put a couple of wings together, and that you can just imagine the teacher going, "Oh, bless! Look, she thinks she built an aeroplane."
Absolutely. Anyway.
Yes, so fancy hangar, in honour of the fact that Learjet have built their last Lear. That got us thinking. Obviously, the Learjet was also one of the very first and earliest exec jets. So we thought, hey, let's take a trawl in the classifieds and find a fantastic and low-cost executive jet for our fancy hangar. So who's first?
Johnny.
Oh, me. Right. I've gone a bit dull. It's a Citation. And I've lost the classified entry, but I can kind of remember. It was $200,000. It's got 7 seats if you include the 2 in the front. It's got about 1,000-mile range on a good day, generally about 900. But yeah, cruise speed 345 knots, rate of climb about 3,000 feet per minute, with 2 JT-15s powering it, payload of about 2,000 pounds. So I thought that's a fairly all right suggestion. They look a bit like toys, I've always thought.
Crucially, though, Johnny, did you pay attention to how, because sometimes when you buy a cheap jet, it comes with painful, expensive costs around the corner. So do we know what hours are left on your engine?
No, but I do know that having read the fine print, it's not actually airworthy. Although it does say it's basically just it needs an inspection and then it can fly. It's absolutely fine.
Yeah.
You just
what sort of inspection? Is it like confirm whether it's a fridge or an aeroplane? Yes, it's an aeroplane.
Or is it 2 hot section inspections? Yeah, I think you lose on the point of A, it's really, really dull, and B, it doesn't actually fly. But apart from that, not bad. I went a bit further back. Great Garden on it. Yeah, exactly. Well, it's my turn next, and I went for this. Now, it's really aircraft industries, but it clearly, if you look at it, it clearly started off as an aero commander, and they built the Westwind jet. So there you go, 7 seats, 400 knots, 2,000 nautical miles, 42,000 feet. Not too shabby. How much do you reckon that one is? And this one is airworthy, by the way.
Oh, I don't know. It's a Westwind, so people are going, what's one of those? So I don't know, £500.
It's rare. It's vintage. It's lovely. I've had a look. There are some pictures of the interior. It's not actually that one there. That one just happened to be a kind of picture that I could get the permission to use, as opposed to the one in the ad. But the one in the ad looks pretty good on the outside. It's got some nice paint. It currently belongs to a legal company, a firm of lawyers. So you need to check for snakes and stuff inside, I guess. But the inside is not too bad. Nice leather plush chairs. Well, not super plush, but plush enough for a biz jet. But that is yours. Fly away. Well, you need to put some fuel in, I guess. Fly away for $179,000.
Wow.
$179,000. That's amazing, isn't it? I mean, I'm gonna guess that it'll probably cost you about $179,000 a month to run it, and it's all pretty high time. So, but it's got everything. It's even got an ADF in. I mean,
Well, that's lucky. And given that they stopped making that a long time ago, and probably none of the manufacturing exists, I would imagine part support must be really excellent.
I should think it's probably if I wasn't afraid of being sued by them, I could probably say the part support is probably as good as who are current aircraft manufacturers still in business. And there are plenty of places that still offer training and type ratings and all sorts of things. So there's still a bunch of them around.
And
I reckon $179,000. That's what's that in today's money? 130,000, 140,000 pounds or something like that. If you got 20 of you together, that's like 7k each. Look, let's go to the States, let's put in 7k, let's fly this around for a month or so, and then at the end of it we'll just park it somewhere and walk away. I would imagine that's about all you can do.
I would imagine you'd fly until anything went wrong, like even if the key snapped off in the door.
Yeah. Oh, no, that's it. The ashtray's full. Forget it.
It's a complete write-off.
179k. You can't even buy a Cessna 152 these days for 179k, can you? Almost.
It's got about an inch of ground clearance underneath that fuselage.
Yeah, it's not an all-terrain vehicle, that's for sure.
No. And Johnny's Cessna looked a bit like it had similar ground clearance issues, but someone unkindly in the comments suggested that Johnny's Cessna might have been bent in some, and possibly
I've seen that.
Let's just check that. Oh, yeah, it does actually.
Oh,
it looks very low.
It does look very.
That looks like it's.
Those Oleos have got no oleo in them.
No,
yeah,
the Cessna banana.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Who's next?
I'm not sure anyone needs to see anymore. I think it's just me for the win, isn't it?
What's Dave got?
Dave, what have you got?
We know that Custom didn't make jets.
I've gone for one of the original business jets, private jets, the Dassault Falcon 20. It's a 1979 model. They're not as cheap as the West Wind, I have to say. They're currently between $400,000 and $600,000. And
how much?
That's cheap for a business jet. It's between $400,000 and $600,000. But for that, you get 465 knots, 1,800 nautical mile range. You get 6 people plus a divan in the cabin. I thought that the cockpit was a bit scary, I have to say.
Did they just throw instruments at the instrument panel until
whatever stuck stayed? Yeah. Have you noticed also the seats? Every single private jet you see has got these sheepskin seats. What is it about these seats?
I know.
Cessna 180 I fly has got sheepskin seats in. They're lovely.
Yeah. And for what speed did you say, Dave? Because that seems awfully high for your Falcon.
Yeah, the max speed I'm talking about is 455 knots at 20,000 feet.
20,000 feet?
Yes,
point it down.
Higher.
I think you've been taken in by manufacturer figures there again.
Well, they are manufacturer figures, of course. But about the only downside here is that it actually costs thousands per hour to operate.
I know that might be the biggest.
$1,500 an hour to operate.
Yeah, I think you've got the biggest jet for sure of everybody. It's certainly got the biggest fin on it. Have you seen the size of it? Just look how big that thing is.
Yeah. This one, you asked about engines. This one does actually come with 14 spare engines.
You can give 2 of those to Johnny for his citation.
That's got to be worth it for 14 spare engines.
14 spare engines. I always think that's a giveaway. If adverts go a large spares consignment, that just means it's very difficult to maintain, and the previous owner has spent a long time getting spares, none of which were any use.
But you know who? I mean, I think I'm right in saying that Draken, however you pronounce it.
That's right.
Yeah.
Still fly the Falcon 20.
Yeah. They're very nice aeroplanes, and
so on the plus side, you could paint it blue and go and hoon about the countryside and see it very low level and blame it on them.
And blame it on what a great idea!
Yeah,
brilliant, genius. On that basis, I think Dave wins.
Yes, we haven't seen my choice yet.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah,
very good.
Okay.
So, that just leaves me, and so I picked this and went for the original and best with this, a 1977 Learjet 24E. Yeah, it's got a tiny cabin, but just look at it. It's beautiful, low time. It's up to date with ADS-B. It's got stage 3 hush kits. It's got 2009 paint and interior. The price was $325K, but there was the chance of making an offer on it. So I reckon with some haggling, I can get this probably closer to $250, $260. There's 1,450 hours left on the engines before I need to think about overhaul. And all you slowpokes, because this is the Learjet and this is the best of everything. This is 480 knots cruise speed. That's not a Dave imagined figure. At 45,000 feet, 1,473 nautical miles range, 6 seats, 6,600 feet per minute rate of climb, plus the FAA was so impressed with the Learjet, the last models of the 24, that they extended the ceiling on the E and F models to 51,000 feet, which is the highest level certified in for a civilian aircraft. So
it's so fast, Ed. Why is it being towed along on the ground here?
I think that's just being moved on the ground with a tow bar. I suspect you get the tow bar with the aeroplane as well. So I think with jets that jets, it's all about how fast you go. Now, clearly, Johnny's, and I've done some research on speeds. Now, Johnny, I was going to be kind and say you got the value of 357 knots, though clearly with your non-functioning jet, it's actually nil. Ian's woodwind is 390. Dave, when he's not smoking something, actually his cruise speed on his Falcon is 400 knots. So actually, me with Malia, which is the best looking and original business jet, 415 knots. No, 480 knots. It smokes you all. So
you can't even kneel down in it. It's just so small.
It is quite small. I will give that. Yes.
Have to go in and out horizontally.
Yeah, and obviously Dave has got the biggest cabin, but it's full of all his spare engines. So
yeah, exactly. I'm just a bit worried that everyone here is earning too much money because you all think that your aircraft are cheap, and clearly mine at $179,000 is really cheap.
That is true. Given that yours was rare and such low value, that does mean that you can buy two, so that you've got one for spares.
I could probably buy two for the price of your Lear, really.
Probably, yeah, yeah. But I've got to say, yeah. It's if you want some way to waste a large amount of money, buy an old business jet.
Buy an old business jet, yeah. Absolutely. They're being sold for a reason, and that's it. Going to cost you.
Anyway, as always, we have to refer to the comments, and I'm happy to say that there's a lot of Ed wins. Oh no! Yeah. Apparently, Richard Kennedy disagrees. Dave wins. Richard Robert says Ed wins. Ed wins. Ed wins. Ed wins. Ian is a close second. Obviously, Claire B likes the economics of your West Wind. Jonathan Smith. Ed is too good at this. There's no love for Johnny's non-functioning Cessna.
No. We are going to have to get that Ed Wins T-shirt, aren't we? We're going to have to get that for the LEA rally at least.
Yeah, Ed wins. The rest of you are Sunday League. Oh dear. It's such a new name, Challenge Ed.
Challenge Ed. we might just end up playing it when Ed's not around.
Yeah.
Yes.
Ed's not here this week. We've got 50
Dave.
The right choice, Peter.
Yes, I do think you're onto something though. With the you could get some Dulux weather shield and roller paint it blue, and you could get away with some low flying. That would be quite good fun. And not inexpensive. That would be relatively cheap paint. So
I have to say, having flicked through the comments in the hope of finding less Ed wins than Ed actually found. I'm
surprised. This is quite a landslide as Ed wins goes.
Yeah, I think you're right. David's making a good.
Yeah, I think that just speaks volumes about the fact that the Learjet is the original and the best. Yes. How many hours a week does Ed spend poring over fancy aircraft? Not as many as you would think.
No, it's because he spent many, many, many years of his life poring over every single aircraft around.
That's it. And it did remind me when I was looking through, I was looking for Learjets, I was reminded that on my English textbook, I had a little photo of a Lear 26.
Right.
I was that sad.
There you go. Yeah. Well, okay, I think you probably do win that one.
Yeah.
Oh, look at that. If Dave's Falcon was 22 years old, it would be the Millennium Falcon and worth quite a bit.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah, good one. Good one. Okay, well, reluctantly, I think that would be an Ed wins, but I think on the upside, it has spawned a T-shirt. If nothing else, we'll have to get one.
Yeah.
Right, that's enough fancy hangar. Let's have a quick. Have we got any events, Dave?
Well, actually, we have 2 fly-ins on Saturday. There's the vintage Saturday flying at Compton Abbas, and there's also the vintage and aerobatic aircraft day at Bodmin. So the season is kicking off.
It's all very southwest, isn't it?
Yeah, and next week, should you want to go, Sun and Fun is on in Florida. Get your face burnt to a bright orange.
Yeah, fair enough. Jolly good. And Johnny, tell us all about everything.
So first thing, we'll email out tomorrow the club members with the discount code for private flyer for the discounted landing fee and entry. We'll send that at some point tomorrow. And also, obviously, if you're not a member of the club, you can join £30 before it goes up to 52 or £1 a week, and end of April, beginning of May. So you'll have all of next month to dive into all the Flyers content and swim around on the website and look at it to your heart's content, and then join. And it should be a really simple process, single sign-on. No faffing around between different domains, forum, website, Flyer Club. It'll all be one and very simple to do.
Yeah.
And also, if you're watching and you don't like our channel, please do, because we're so close to 4,000 subscribers now, and we just need to push it over the edge. So if you're watching and you don't subscribe, please do.
So does that mean we have to do YouTuber-like things, like going smash that like button or hit the bell?
Hit the bell, smash the like button, leave a comment, all that kind of stuff. That would be very good. I discovered as soon as we got this new website launched, and then we've got our Pilot Careers Live, which is on the 9th of April, Sofitel, London Heathrow. So if you're thinking about a career as a pilot, come along to that, and that's on the Pilot Career News website. You can find it there. Or if you know anybody who is, send them our way. That would be great. And then as soon as that's out of the way, we'll be beginning the preparations for all of the coverage that we're going to bring you from Aero. This will be brought to you by Continental Aerospace Technologies, who partner with us. So we'll be bringing you daily news updates every time, some news, some videos. We still haven't figured out exactly what we're going to do about the live stream that week, but we will do something. There will be something there. So all sorts of video and text and all sorts of other bits and pieces coming there. But you could help us all by joining the Flyer Club if you're not a member already. And it's only 30 quid at the moment for the next 4 weeks. And subscribe YouTube on the YouTube channel and all the rest of it. And apart from that, have a great weekend flying. And I thank you very much for joining us. We'll see you next Wednesday if you're a member, and next Thursday if you're not. And if you're not, think about it. Come on, support us. Thank you very much.
Fly safe, everyone. See you next week.
Have a good one. Cheers.